So we're back playing with the 79B here. I've got my redneck fuel system hooked up here. And I went up into all my parts I have upstairs and I found my box of Weber carburetors, and I found one that was kind of halfway tore apart. Took the top of the carb off and threw it on here real quick. It's not quite the same one. As you can see right here, it doesn't quite cover that all the way, but it'll be fine for what we're doing right now. And it doesn't have the right lever set up to be able to actually hook choke up, but we don't really need that right now. We'll be good. So now we can actually try to start this thing up and see if it'll run and run well enough and long enough to get the temperature up on the motor to make sure that the temperature switch is kicking the fans on, it doesn't overheat, and see if we actually have any oil leaks or any other issues. So I got the battery hooked up, keys on, and I'm going to bypass the relay here. Looks like all the Webers I've played with in the past, the idle circuit's at least partially plugged and won't run without the choke. You can wedge the choke open since the lever's missing, or the rod's missing. We can let it run here a little bit, get up the temperature, see if the fans work, and see if we got any major oil leaks or anything. I don't know if I said it right before. I was talking about the Weber. Is everyone I've ever played with that's been sitting for a long time seems that the idle circuit gets plugged up. And then it doesn't want to run without the choke on, and then it runs pretty much just like this. It's really rough because it's not atomizing the fuel very well at all. So I got a little temperature probe infrared thermometer I'll be using to check the head here. We'll monitor the temperature to see if the fan comes on when it's supposed to come on. Alright, so after having run this thing a little bit and getting it up to temperature, the fans were not working at all. So I traced that down actually to some electrical connections. The connection at the relay wasn't really good, and actually at the fans themselves, once I checked the connections and cleaned both of them, now both of them work. So now what I'm doing is I'm heating it back up again to make sure that the switch is working. And what we've done was we've been cleaning the engine compartment up and cleaning all the electrical connections across here as we go, trying to make sure everything's working. So we're just waiting for it to get back up to full temperature to see if the switch now actually works and turns all the fans on. Right now I'm at about 165 degrees here, about 160 going up here. So we got a few more minutes yet of running before we get there. So now we're getting pretty close up here. Should be seeing the fans come on here really soon if they're working. I'm showing about 185, 188 here. The fan should come on somewhere around 190 if I remember correctly. There they are, 189.5 degrees. So we're looking pretty good there. So now that we verified the fans are working and it's not overheating, took this junk off, and we're going to be putting a pair of SUs on here. Now the other day, we picked up a set of these Datsun 280Z wheels for it. We also picked up a set of these. Set of Carroll Shelby wheels. I've never seen anything like these before, and they do fit this car. It basically looked like they were made for a Datsun 240, 260, 280. And I thought they were quite unusual, and the price was decent on them, and I thought, what the heck, let's see what they look like. Well, let me know below what you think of them. So we're also getting the whole interior ripped out of it to get ready to start making a whole new one. Now we've finally picked out all the colors we're going to use in this and the materials. We're not going to divulge that just yet. You'll just have to stay tuned and keep watching to find out what we're actually doing here. And we got the brakes, started on the brakes here, got the back plates all cleaned up, new wheel cylinders in, and then found out that the adjusters were pretty much junk on this thing. One of the adjusters was actually broken off, but I had just used the pair I had on this car, which means I've got to order some more before we can go any further on that. But we did get a little load of parts here for it. Got ourselves the clutch hydraulic kit, some new shoes, master cylinder, this is ignition switch, we got some cooling hoses, the rack boots, a new belt, and some hoses for the brakes. Got a couple more little pieces here and there we're going to have to order yet, but that's the bulk of us getting started on it.